Achippy, can he turn it into a gold medal for Botswana? Kebinatshipi becomes the first ever champion.
In the middle of a rain-soaked night at Tokyo's National Stadium, the men's 400 meters final was supposed to be a battle of rising names with no clear favorite. Instead, it turned into the birth of a new global star. Only 21 years old, Busang Collen Kebinatshipi of Botswana stormed around the track in 43.53 seconds, not only setting a national record and the fastest time of the season, but also delivering one of the most shocking upsets of the World Athletics Championships. In one lap, a young runner from a small nation redefined what was possible and left the sporting world stunned.
I'm still in shock, but coach have been telling me since warm-up, he's been telling me, man, you are ready. Stop doubting yourself, so go and do your thing.
The men's 400 meters final at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo was unlike any in recent memory. The heavyweights were missing. Olympic champion Quincy Hall was sidelined with injury. Matthew Hudson-Smith, silver medalist in Paris, and Muzala Samukonga, bronze medalist, didn't make it past the semifinals. The reigning stars were out, leaving a field of new blood and rising talents. That meant opportunity. South Africa's Zakithi Nene entered as the fastest man of the season, clocking 43.76 earlier in 2025. Trinidad and Tobago's Jareem Richards, a veteran at 31, was chasing one last great performance. Jamaica's Rushin McDonald was back in contention, alongside a surprise finalist from Japan, Yuki Joseph Nakajima, energizing the home crowd. And then there was Botswana, fielding not one, not two, but three finalists: Kebinatshipi, Bayapo Ndori, and Lee Bekempelo Epi. For a nation of just over 2 million people, it was extraordinary. Collen Kebinatshipi's rise has been steady, but nothing about it suggested a breakout this massive. Born in Hukuntsi, Botswana, on the 13th of February 2004, Kebinatshipi was a prodigy from his teenage years. In 2021, he was part of the Botswana 4x400 meters relay team that captured gold at the World U20 Championships. By 2022, he was winning gold medals at the African Championships in both the men's and mixed 4x400 meters relays. In 2023, he won the 400 meters title at the African U20 Championships in Ndola, Zambia, clocking a record 44.91 seconds. He also tested himself on the European circuit, running 45.01 inches hengelo to beat an international field. At the World Championships in Budapest later that year, he lowered his personal best to 44.8 and reached the semifinals, a clear sign he was on the rise. In 2024, Kebinatshipi experienced both disappointment and triumph. He narrowly missed making the individual Olympic final in Paris, but helped Botswana win silver in the 4x400 meters relay alongside Bayapo, Ndori, and 200 meters champion Letsile Tebogo. It was Botswana's first Olympic relay medal, and it showed that the small African nation was emerging as a sprinting powerhouse. Earlier in 2025, Kebinatshipi sharpened his form on the Diamond League circuit. He ran 44.53 inches Xiamen, 44.63 inches Shanghai, and 44.51 inches Rome, consistently placing among the top three. Though he finished only 7th in Zurich's Diamond League final, the experience hardened him. By September, he was primed for something special. Kebinatshipi's Tokyo campaign was a masterclass in steady escalation. In the heats on September 14, Kebinatshipi opened his campaign with a smooth and confident 44.48. 2 days later, in the semifinals, he unleashed a stunning personal best of 43.61, the fastest time of the season at that stage, and a clear warning to the rest of the field. By the time of the final, on September 18, he was ready for the moment. Racing through rain and pressure, he produced an even greater performance, stopping the clock at 43.53 seconds, a new Botswana national record and the world lead. Jareem Richards of Trinidad and Tobago pushed hard to claim silver in 43.72, also setting a national record, while Bayapo Ndori surged through for bronze in 44.2, his season's best effort. Kebinatshipi could hardly believe it. Getting a gold medal is the dream come true for us. I didn't expect it to come so early at this age, but it shows I can do even more in the coming years. Bayapo Ndori was equally stunned. We are very surprised. We never thought this would happen. Jareem Richards, gracious in defeat, celebrated his own success. Finally, I've been struggling for this since 2017. To improve the national record in the World Championships final was one of my dreams. Another goal was to grab the gold. Not this time, but I am satisfied with second. For Botswana, this was historic. Kebinatshipi became the nation's first male world champion in an individual event. With 3 finalists and 2 medals, Botswana had arrived as a force in global sprinting. Kebinatshipi's victory shocked the world for several reasons that go beyond just the time on the clock. He defied the common trend of older, more seasoned athletes dominating the 400 meters. He also triumphed in difficult conditions, racing through heavy rain that could have easily disrupted his rhythm and execution. His tactical brilliance was clear, as he resisted the urge to chase Zakithi Nene's explosive start and instead focused on running his own carefully measured race. The impact of his win was enormous for Botswana, a nation that had never before produced a men's individual world champion. In a single night, he gave his country a milestone achievement that will be remembered for generations. Finally, the victory represented a global shift, symbolizing the rise of African sprinters from outside the traditional powers of the United States and Jamaica. Together, these elements made Kebinatshipi's performance one of the defining moments of the championship. Kebinatshipi's triumph was part of a broader story, as Botswana is now experiencing a true sprinting renaissance. Leading the charge is Letsile Tebogo, the Olympic 200 meters champion, who has already established himself as one of the brightest young stars in global athletics. Alongside him, Bayapo Ndori has risen to the ranks of world bronze medalist, further strengthening the country's reputation. The Botswanan 4x400 meters relay team, which won Olympic silver in 2024, has continued to improve and now stands as a serious contender for global gold. Kebinatshipi himself added to that legacy by anchoring Botswana to victory in the 4x400 meters relay later in Tokyo, cementing the nation's rise. Together, this generation of athletes is rewriting the narrative of African sprinting and establishing Botswana as a powerhouse on the world stage. Kebinatshipi's 43.53 places him among the fastest men in history, with only a handful of athletes ever running faster. With youth on his side, he has ample time to pursue records once thought untouchable. The benchmarks remain Michael Johnson's 43.18 from 1,999 and Wade van Niekerk's astonishing 43.03 from 2016, both towering achievements in the event. Beyond the individual pursuit of history, Kebinatshipi is part of a formidable generation of Botswanan athletes, and the depth of talent suggests that the 4x400 meters relay could become one of the country's signature events. He has already proven his ability to contribute in the relay, and now Botswana looks primed to challenge for gold on the biggest stages. Adding to his versatility, Kebinatshipi is also a strong 200 meters runner, holding a personal best of 20.28 seconds. That range across distances makes him even more dangerous and points to a future where he could excel in multiple events while continuing to cement his place among the world's elite sprinters. The world has a new star, and his journey is only beginning.
Side by side with 50, Lyles trying to find something, he stretches away, it is a global...
Noah Lyles just shocked the world. He didn't just win a race, he made history by tying Usain Bolt's 200-meter record. But his path wasn't easy. Injuries, pressure, and setbacks almost stopped him. How he came back stronger is what makes this story unforgettable. So let's rewind. How did Lyles rise? What did it take? And, crucially, where does he go from here? Noah Lyles didn't start off as a world-famous athlete. He was just a kid from Gainesville, Florida, and later Alexandria, Virginia, with big dreams and a lot of energy. His parents, Kevin and Keisha Lyles, were both runners in college, so it's no surprise that Noah eventually found his way to the track. But even though he had the genes, his path wasn't easy or guaranteed. Before running took over his life, Lyles trained as a gymnast. That background gave him something special, an incredible awareness of how to move his body. His balance, power, and flexibility stood out. And when he began sprinting seriously, all of those skills helped him explode onto the scene. Alongside his younger brother Josephus, he started dominating youth competitions. In 2016, he made a bold move. Instead of going to college like most athletes, he turned professional straight out of high school. That choice came with a lot of pressure. Suddenly, he wasn't just racing for medals, he was racing for his career. Sponsorships, media attention, and the weight of expectations followed him everywhere. Many young athletes crumble under that kind of spotlight. But Lyles stayed grounded. He stayed focused. He believed in his ability to become one of the best. In the early stages of his pro career, Lyles dealt with hamstring injuries that slowed his progress. But even in those moments, he stayed vocal, confident, and uniquely himself. He wasn't trying to be the next anyone, not Bolt, not Johnson, just the best version of Noah. 2019 was his breakout. At the World Championships in Doha, Lyles dominated the 200-meter final and helped the U.S. secure gold in the 4x100-meter relay. That first world title wasn't just a win, it was a statement. He had officially arrived.
The United States, America take it. It's silver this time for Great Britain and a brilliant bronze.
Fast forward to 2022 in Eugene. He didn't just defend his title, he ran 19.31, breaking Michael Johnson's long-standing American record. That made him the third fastest man in history.
He hates losing over 200 meters, and he's forgotten how to. 19.32!
The way he ran that race sent shockwaves through the track world. His acceleration out of the curve, the way he powered down the straight, and his celebration before the finish, it was clear he wasn't just running to win, he was running to be remembered. Then came 2023. Another title, another flag around his shoulders. At that point, he was already being mentioned as the heir to Bolt's sprinting throne. But he wasn't done. 2024 brought both triumph and heartbreak. At the Paris Olympics, Lyles finally claimed Olympic gold in the 100 meters, a race he'd been chasing for years. But in the 200 meters, where he was expected to dominate, he was forced to withdraw mid-race due to a medical issue. Cameras caught him being taken off in a wheelchair. His Olympic dream suddenly cut short. The contrast between victory and pain was brutal, but he didn't hide from it. He spoke openly about disappointment, frustration, and how much the 200-meter title meant to him, and that's what made his comeback in 2025 even more powerful. But 2025 wasn't easy. Lyles came into the World Championships in Tokyo with pressure from all sides. Younger sprinters like Letsile, Tebogo, and Brian Level were hungry. Kenny Bednarek was right on his heels.
It's been an incredibly hard season, and I know I say that every race is special, but it truly is. No race is like the other.
In the semifinals, Lyles threw down a brutal 19.51, the fastest semi-time in history, but he saved just enough for the final. On September 19th, 2025, the Tokyo National Stadium was electric. Lyles lined up in lane 6. The gun fired. Bednarek surged early. Tebogo held tight, but Lyles waited. Then he exploded in the final 60 meters. He crossed the line in 19.52 seconds. Bednarek clocked 19.58. Level took third. As Lyles raised 4 fingers to the crowd, it wasn't just about the number. It was about history. Let's be clear, nobody had touched Usain Bolt's streak of 4 straight 200-meter world titles. Not Gatlin, not Blake, not even Michael Johnson. Bolt set that record from 2009 to 2015. So when Lyles matched it, the track world took notice. This wasn't a fluke. This wasn't hype. It was dominance, sustained over half a decade, and it happened in an era of deeper fields, stricter drug testing, and tighter margins. That makes it arguably harder than what Bolt faced. The sport has evolved, and Lyles is right there, leading the charge. Behind the medals, Lyles has faced real battles. After the 2021 Olympics, where he failed to win gold, he spoke publicly about dealing with depression. He even admitted he nearly quit the sport. There were also injuries, questions about his top-end speed, and critics who said he was more flash than fire. But Lyles never stopped grinding. He worked with sports psychologists, changed his diet, tightened his training, focused his brand. Slowly, the results followed. And in 2024, he won Olympic gold in the 100 meters, silencing doubters once and for all. What makes his journey so relatable is that he's never tried to pretend. He's shown the hard days, the doubts, the breakdowns, and the bounce-backs. Fans have seen him cry, celebrate, laugh, and fall. That transparency? It made people root for him. Now let's talk about comparisons. Bolt was a unicorn, 6 feet 5 inches, with a stride that ate up track like nothing else. His world records of 9.58 and 19.19 still stand. Lyles, at 5 feet 11 inches, runs differently. He has to work harder for every meter. His strength is in the curve and the finish. Where Bolt was effortless, Lyles is relentless. And while Bolt was universally adored, Lyles has faced more skepticism. Maybe it's the era. Maybe it's social media. But Lyles has embraced it, using every doubt as fuel. Off the track, Lyles is a different kind of star. He raps, he designs clothes, he speaks his mind. Some love it, some don't. But he's never boring. He's building more than a medal count. He's building a brand. This isn't just about golds. Lyles is trying to redefine what it means to be a sprinter today. He's open about mental health. He's vocal about athlete rights. He's building a media presence. He wants to be remembered not just for running fast, but for pushing the sport forward. And that's part of what makes this fourth title so impactful. It's not just a win, it's a legacy moment. Now the big question, can he go for 5? That's never been done. Bolt didn't do it. Nobody has. Lyles has already hinted he wants to compete through 2027 and possibly 2029. But it won't be easy. Rising stars like Tebogo, Gout Gout, and even new U.S. talents are closing in, and the physical toll of sprinting at this level is real. Still, if anyone's poised to break the record, to not just match Bolt but pass him, it's Lyles, and what happens next could redefine track and field history. Noah Lyles just did something only one man before him had done, and that man is Usain Bolt. But here's the thing, this isn't just about tying records, it's about writing new ones. 4 straight world titles in the 200 meters, a 100-meter Olympic gold, a new American record, a voice in the sport that matters. Noah Lyles isn't the next Usain Bolt, he's the first Noah Lyles, and the world better keep watching because he's not done yet.
Feels pretty good. I mean, it's great to be out here competing on the world stage. So I'm just happy to be here and can't wait for the semi.
What was the experience?
It's a great experience for me, running against the big dogs. You know, it's great. It's great to be out here.
At 17 years old, Gout Gout is doing what many sprinters spend their whole careers trying to achieve. The Australian teenager has become the face of sprinting's future, breaking records, stunning veterans, and drawing comparisons to the greatest of all time, Usain Bolt. His story is one of raw talent, destiny, and the audacity to believe that youth can go toe-to-toe with experience on the biggest stage. Born in Queensland to South Sudanese parents who immigrated to Australia in 2006, Gout Gout's journey into athletics is as extraordinary as his name. The Ipswich grammar student has already carved his name into history. At just 16, he stormed into the spotlight with a breathtaking run of 19.84 seconds in the 200 meters and 9.99 in the 100 meters at the Australian National Championships in Perth. Though aided by a strong tailwind that rendered the times illegal, the message was clear. Australia had a prodigy on its hands. That performance earned him his first national senior title and a ticket to the World Championships in Tokyo, where he would test himself against the best sprinters on the planet. Australia hasn't produced a global sprint star in decades, but suddenly, this teenager was making the world take notice. Gout's European debut came in June 2025 at the Ostrava Golden Spike meeting in the Czech Republic. Running against seasoned sprinters, he demolished the field with a blistering 20.02 seconds, breaking his own Australian record by 0.02. The victory wasn't just about time, it was about dominance. He finished 0.17 seconds ahead of Cuban Renier Mena, while British veteran Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake had to settle for third. After the race, Gout's words captured both his innocence and confidence. "I feel good. New personal best, new national record in my first European race. I don't feel any pressure. I just go out there and run, and nothing stops me from doing that." His calm, almost playful approach to racing set him apart. Where others feel the crushing weight of expectation, Gout radiates freedom. His mindset reflects both youth and an unusual maturity. "Get some more races in me, and the 20-second barrier will drop for sure," he promised. Few doubted him. The 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo marked his senior global debut. While most teenagers are juggling exams and video games, Gout was lining up against the fastest men in the world. His stated goal was to break the 20-second barrier legally and make history as the first Australian to do so. In the heats, he showed no fear, running 20.23 seconds to qualify for the semifinals. Against experienced competitors, including reigning world champion Noah Lyles, he stood his ground. In the semis, Gout clocked 20.36, finishing fourth in his heat, just shy of the final. By conventional standards, it wasn't a failure, it was a statement.